Okay, it could be argued that nearly all video game Easter eggs are pointless. The majority of the times it's a pop culture reference here or a movie nod there. They barely have an impact on your experience of a game, and that's okay. I mean, I've built an entire channel dedicated to Easter eggs. Sometimes though, there are certain Easter eggs that really leave you thinking, hang on, what was the point in that? It could be an Easter egg that had loads of tricky and intricate steps only to reward you with nothing, or it could be a secret weapon that has no use whatsoever. So, along with the help of some of the guys on my Discord server, the links to which will be in the description, today I bring you 10 of the most pointless Easter eggs in video games. As always, if you have a suggestion for this video, then the best place to let me know is on Discord, Instagram or Twitter. The links to all three will be in the description. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So first up is a game that's full of great Easter eggs, Borderlands 2. Seriously, I'd wager that 9 out of 10 people watching this video know at least one Easter egg from the game, which is a testament to not only how good the Easter eggs are, but also to how popular Borderlands 2 is. Well, the Easter egg we're covering today is perhaps the most pointless Easter egg in the entire video. If you enter the Konami code at the game's title screen, then the option to turn on extra Wubs will appear in the game's options. The description for this particular setting says that it literally does nothing, which is the very definition of pointless. So an important thing to note about this video is that while the Easter egg may be pointless, it doesn't mean that it's a bad Easter egg, far from it in fact. Take this next Easter egg that you can find in Assassin's Creed 3. If you head to the Davenport homestead after sequence 6 and take cover on the wall that I do and whistle, you will find yourself a feathered friend. If you then face the turkey and once again enter the Konami code, this will happen. See, a completely pointless assassin turkey, but a damn good Easter egg. So at the beginning of the video I said that some Easter eggs will have multiple steps to complete, only for the eventual payoff to not really be worth it. In the Hitman 2 Sniper Challenge, if you manage to shoot 10 ducks, 10 pigeons and 3 hawks, you can trigger this Easter egg. Now I'm not going to lie, I really struggled with this one. The pigeons and the ducks were no trouble, they're sitting still after all, but those damn hawks were a pain to hit. All that precise shooting for a giant rubber duck hardly seems worth it. On to another Easter egg that required multiple steps to complete now, this time it's in Saints Row 2. This Easter egg is actually pretty good, and again I'd wager that a fair few of you have seen it before, but that doesn't make it any less pointless. If you head to this location on the map, you can find this island. So we can find a staircase with an arrow. Let's head to where it's pointing. You have to then do this another 3 times before you reach this destination. Again, a great Easter egg, but that's a lot of work for a giant punny. So we've covered a couple of Easter eggs that require a few steps to complete, but this next one is relatively simple. If you head to this area of the map in the fantastic Dying Light, you can find a sword in a stone. Simply go over to it and pull it out. So even though I sped that footage up, it still felt like an age, but hey, it's worth it in the long run, right? You get a cool sword modelled after the mythical Excalibur sword. The zombies of Haran aren't going to know what hit them. Well, you'd be sort of right in thinking that. For a short while, Exp Caliber as it's known in the game is a great weapon, able to dispatch zombies with ease. The trouble is, it's about as durable as an iPhone charger cable, aka not very. After a few swings of the sword, it will break and you aren't able to repair it. Now, all is not lost. Even if the sword is broken, if you perform a strong melee attack, you can still send zombies flying with the sword, but I didn't spend 5 minutes holding down the X button for 30 seconds of zombie slashing. That's for sure. And yes, I know you can find the blueprint for the sword, but it's still not the same. Moving on to another pretty pointless weapon now, this time in Just Cause 2. The Just Cause series has to be considered one of the all-time greats when it comes to Easter eggs. Ever since Just Cause 2, the games have tried to one-up their predecessors with bigger, better, and more importantly funnier Easter eggs. I mean, who could forget the cow gun from Just Cause 4? Well, the Easter egg weapon that can be found in Just Cause 2 isn't quite as memorable. In an abandoned tower in the middle of nowhere, you can find this.
That'll come in handy.
Yep, a gun that fires bubbles. That's it. It doesn't make enemies' heads inflate or turn them into farmland animals. Instead, it fires bubbles. Absolutely pointless. Speaking of games with tons of Easter eggs, I'll be foolish not to include a Gears of War Easter egg in this video. This time it's a turn of Gears of War 3 and one of my favourite characters in the entire franchise, Cole. During Act 1 Chapter 3, you can do this.
Grocery stores? I mean, when you were a big thrashball star, didn't you have people for that?
Yeah, one of them must have told me where it was when I was getting my manicure. Keep it moving. Whoa!
Now, I'm going to be honest, I was very close to cutting this particular Easter egg from the video, as I like seeing Cole have fun. But ultimately, the Discord convinced me to include this one in the video, so blame them if you don't agree. The next Easter egg is another Discord favourite. The Evil Within is a scary game with a pretty confusing plot. It wasn't until I watched a story breakdown on the game that I sort of understood what was happening. But even then, if you asked me to explain the story, I'd struggle. So with that being said, this next Easter egg seems to follow suit and achieve nothing apart from supplying you with a year's supply of bacon. If you shoot the hanging bodies during Chapter 4, this will happen. This giant pig literally does nothing. Pretty pointless if you ask me. The final Easter egg has to be one of my favourite Easter eggs in video games. That being said, not only is it pointless, it's downright rude. At the location shown, you can find this. So a door that leads to a wall with an insult written on it. It really doesn't get much more pointless or downright awesome as that. So that's it, that's 10 of the most pointless Easter eggs in video games. As I said, if you have any suggestions of your own, then be sure to leave them in the comments, on my Discord, on my Twitter, on my Instagram, or by carrier pigeon. I'd also like to take this time to say a huge thank you to Josh Cook, Ghost Scout, Swifter Thunder, and Duckos for helping with this video. They basically came up with all of the Easter eggs in this video on their own. Also, I better say a thank you to my fiance who originally gave me the idea for this video, so thank you, Alicia. Anyway, this is beginning to sound like an Oscar acceptance speech, so I'll stop rambling. I hope you all like the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Whoa!